1, 2, 3, 4.
What's going on, everybody? It's Dot Bets with my man Sidekick Picks. Once again, we are live for our Week 9 on the dot live show here. We are excited to get going. We will recap last week's. If this is your first time tuning in, you will get a bunch of prop plays, same game parlays from Sidekick, and then we will discuss anything from DFS to start sits in fantasy. Any questions you guys have, make sure you guys leave them in the comments. As always, hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube. Then hit that thumbs up. And if you're on Twitter checking in, simply hit that retweet button. We'd appreciate that a lot. This show is powered by props.cash. We will show you guys their software platform that we use religiously. Absolutely. I pretty much start with them every single day of the week, whether it's NBA, NHL, MLB, college whatever it is. Now we got the NFL show here. So we are excited to get rolling. How are we feeling this morning, Sidekick?
Really good. Had a pretty successful day yesterday. My Irish spanked Clemson. So
I was on Clemson. That was a bad play by me. That was horrific.
Hey, I was scared. I won't lie. But good to see them finally start putting things together. So,
I mean, how are you a top 5 team and just get your ass blown? It was just unbelievable.
At least they didn't lose to Marshall.
There's all types of bad. Then I had James Madison. That was a bad one. They got absolutely stomped by Louisville. But then we swept the NBA board. So that was a nice little bounce back there. NBA has been heating up for us. So as always, make sure you guys join the free Discord. The link is below if you're on YouTube, and if you're on Twitter, just make sure you go to our link or my link tree, and you can guys join the free Discord. We hit a couple anytime touchdown parlays last weekend. Looking to do the same this week. We'll go over some of our top anytime touchdown plays as well. We got a comment here from Justin, says Week 9. Let's fucking go, boys. So we are ready to go. Yeah. I think he was a little hungover last week. All right. So make sure you guys leave some comments. If you guys have any questions over player props, fantasy start sit, we'll go over some of my top exposures for DFS this week. A little bit more value on the running back side to open the slate up. And then the Chargers have a ton of value that opens up in that stack. So we'll get into that shortly. Let's add this to the stream here. Let's recap last week real quick. So 3-3, minus 0.3 units last week. Total, we are 28-20 on the show the whole season for plus 1.3 units. We were creeping up slowly, and we finally have gotten in the green, and we are going to stay there the rest of the season. Got a bunch of good picks for you guys this week. Mine was all around bad with the Adams and the Barkley play. Adams, I guess the flu was going around too much to the whole entire team, and Carr and Adams looked horrific against the Saints, which it was a smash spot, just did not land for us. Pierce ended up cashing at the last play of the game, which helped me tremendously not get swept. But then we had CMC's same game parlay hit for side, Pierce and Pittman hit, and then Taylor. What did Taylor end up with receiving yards?
0.
Oh, he didn't have it.
He had one target, and he didn't bring it in, and then they never threw to him again.
Really? Yeah, that's strange.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Because Ellinger, we were saying Ellinger being back, or being the starter now would have helped, but
especially
he just.
I wonder if his ankle had anything to do with it too, which is why he's not in today. But
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, what a
But he was
disaster it's
running
been
the
in
ball
Indy.
like a madman. So I don't know. That team's fucking weird.
Yep. All right, well, let's get into it. The first play of the week. Go ahead, Side.
All right, so we're going with the dynamic duo in Miami, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Waddle over 54.5, Hill over 69.5 receiving yards. You can get this at plus 120. I'm on it for a unit. There is a little bit of some bad weather in Chicago today. A little breezy out, but I don't think it will impact these two at all. I mean, these guys are just, if you tune in and watch Miami football, you know these guys are going to run wild. So I think this is a smash spot. I'd feel comfortable laying 2 or 3 units on it, honestly, but they're they're really good. So
Yeah, the target share amongst those two are just insane. They could easily go for 100 plus again against
Right.
the Chicago's defense that's given up a buttload of yards week after week. And nice part about it is a lot of people bet wise have kind of gone your direction here. The total has been creeping up ever so slightly. It's currently at 46. I saw it as low as 45 early in the week. So a lot of people are going on there. And I've seen a lot of people on the Bears side, which bodes well for this bet as well. Game stays close. We get more Tua to Waddle, more Tua to Hill
Tua
throughout.
looks really good in that system too. I think they're starting to gel. So
Yeah, and Tua has a lot of confidence. He'll just throw it deep, kind of like Mahomes used to do. Just throw it deep, and Tyreek will be there, or throw it deep. Waddle will be there. But they're picking guys apart week after week, and it's fun to watch.
And we should see, I mean, if anything too, I think that play action will pick up a little bit more with Jeff Wilson in the lineup. So
Yeah, just acquired Jeff Wilson. You got Mostert there. Yeah, the Dolphins are, and then just acquired Bradley Chubb, which, I mean, you could hinder the over under a little bit, but I really like this same game parlay here. With you're just teasing it down, getting an alternate line plus money. I'm all for that.
Since I started switching to this, we've been hitting at an extremely high percentage. So
I agree.
Sticking with it.
Yep. We got Justin saying Damian Harris is inactive today. So fire up Ramondre Stevenson.
He's scared.
God,
Damian Harris is scared of that Colts defense.
Yeah. No, throw him in DFS. He should be highly owned as once again. Let's see what his projection is for Stevenson. He is, he's going to be the second or the leading. It's literally Stevenson at like 35%, and then you have ETN right on his heels at 32%, 33%. So those two will be very, very chalky. If you're playing low risk cash games, go right ahead and throw Stevenson and ETN in there. High risk, make sure if you do have them in there, you are game stacking, 3-1 stacking, 4-0 stacking, 3-0 stacking, whichever game you guys like. Just make sure you guys are putting those guys in there with the game stack to get a little bit different from your competition. All right, let's go to my first play. We are going to go to that Rams-Bucks game, the tale of the two Super Bowl teams that are struggling. And what are they're struggling at? They're struggling at running the football. There's going to be a lot of passing in this game. I love Chris Godwin in this matchup. I know it's a little bit juicy at minus 125. He's had 6+ receiving receptions in 5 straight games. He's only hit this over in 2 of those 5. However, I think he gets there this week with the Rams playing a lot more zone defense than normal, than the rest of the league. And Godwin picks apart zone defenses. Brady should. I'm actually game stacking the Brady side here in DFS, so I'm a little bullish on the Bucks myself. And I think Brady to Evans, Brady to Godwin, Brady to Fournette. I think we get a lot of that this week with the Rams struggling on the defensive side to stop the pass. They're great at stopping the run. They got Donald getting a lot of pressure. With them getting a bunch of pressure, I think they get the ball out a little bit quicker. Fournette just didn't get there for me. I really liked Godwin in this spot, so that's why I went this route with Chris Godwin here. What do you think about that game, the Bucks Rams?
It's frustrating because it should be one of the best games this week, but it's the most terrifying game to bet on, in my opinion.
Yeah, what's that over under at? I think it's a low 42.5. You would think that this would be like in the 50s, and like if it was made last year, but nope. It's at 42.5. Both teams struggling. I do think we see a buttload of pass attempts from Stafford, and then also from Brady here.
Yeah.
All right, we got our second pick here. Go right ahead, Side.
So going into this week, I was a little shaky with putting out props, just because I was getting a weird vibe, and I was struggling to find things I really liked, but. Turns out I like this one. We got Kenneth Walker over 59.5 rushing yards, D-Hop over 69.5 receiving yards, and D-Hop has been a smash spot since he's returned from his suspension. And the past couple weeks, I've taken him. I think he was at like 40, and then it creeped up to 50. So now we're here at 69.5. But Seattle's going up against Arizona defense that does not do well at stopping the run, and since Kenneth Walker has taken over the lead role, he's been insane. His value or his usage is really nice. Out of the 4 games that he has been the lead back, he went 88, 97, 168, and then 51 last week. So like him to get over 60 today, and then D-Hop I think has 27 targets in 2 games.
I think he has like a 40% target share since coming back. It's just stupid.
It's insane. So he went 103 and then 159 last week. So I'm just going to ride the hot hand with these two, and Seattle struggles with their pass coverage. So I think D-Hop definitely gets loose, and they're going to throw the ball to him just about every time. So
yeah, and this is you could stack both sides in DFS here. I'm only going to go the Arizona side.
And I did stack this.
Yep.
I took Rondell Moore, Murray, D-Hop, and then I played Walker.
Yep. Yeah, so I went, Murray. I actually left Rondell Moore out, so it's going to piss me off if he goes for a long touchdown.
So I almost put him in this play because you can get his alternate yards at 29.5, which I think is a smash spot.
Yeah. I just went Ertz, and then I went Hopkins. I had stayed away from Benjamin and Connor because Connor's back in the picture, it looks like. I don't know how that's going to go. So I went ahead and stacked the Murray, the Arizona side, brought it back with either Walker, I brought it back with either Metcalf, or brought it back with Lockett.
I would pick Lockett out of the 2.
Yeah.
Decaf's kind of trending down.
Yeah. I kind of like Walker the most just because he can take it to the house. He just doesn't get too much receiving. That's my only issue with that. That's my only worry is that he doesn't catch enough passes for me. But that game stack is clearly one of the best. I know those second divisional matchups we try to stay away from because you'd think they're a little bit more competitive. But both of these defenses are horrendous. And you guys tune in every single week. You're going to target the Seattle defense. You're going to target the Lions defense, which we're going to get to. So you have to do it. Just have to do it. It's too easy. All right, let's get into my next play. Oh, I didn't know if I would ever feature this guy on the air.
To see him.
And I'm doing it. It's too good of a spot. McKissick is out. Gibson has just been the best receiving back for this team all year long. Great matchup with the Vikings, giving up top 10 in pass yards or receiving yards to the running back position. I mean, he's only hitting 2 of his last 5. McKissick's always there. I think he gets a little bit more run. He has 3+ receptions in 5 straight games, so he's been involved all year long, even though he's been in the doghouse all year, apparently playing special teams to start the year. Brian Robinson's back. He just has not been as effective as some people have hoped for.
They haven't they've kind of backed off of his volume also. So
Yep. Yeah, and Heineke. You saw when Heineke was behind behind center, he targeted Gibson a buttload. He had 7 receptions last week. So I'm going back to the well, thinking we see a good enough output here from Gibson. I think this started in like the low 20s, and now I've seen it as high as 25 and a half. It's 24 and a half for minus 130 on DK. So if you want to take that, I'm okay with eating that juice here. I think he sees 30 plus receiving yards with the volume he should get. All right, next or last play from side.
All right, I had to do it.
I figured there was going to be a Colt somewhere in this thing.
Going back to the well. Pittman over 39.5, Myers over 44.5. Receiving yards. Now, I kind of dropped the ball on the Myers option here because it did open at his lowest alternate line was at 39.5. But we didn't get the odds that we're getting with the increase here. So I still like it. I think this is a smash spot. Pittman, I mean, if you look up at props.cash, this dude's hitting over 39.5 yards, 79% out of his entire career, 90% out of his last 10. So he's hit 9 out of 10, over 39.5. Jakobi Meyers is the number one guy in New England, and he's hit 5 out of his last 6 and 8 out of his last 10. So I think this is a smash spot for both these guys.
Let's add this. This is for Pittman right here.
Insane.
And you guys, that's 55 and a half. What's your line at? 39 and a half? Yeah, so teasing it down, you can adjust the line down here. 39 and a half. You guys can see all types of green, obviously hitting at a 79% hit rate, 19 of 24, dating back all the way from last year. Yeah. Guys, hit this over in was that 7 of 8 games right there? So
yeah, and his receptions is at 4.5, which again is crazy because he's only I think only one time this season where he hasn't hit
one time.
Yeah.
Yep. So I mean,
smash it.
And it's at minus 102. So I'm okay with I'm okay with taking his receptions as well. Clear lead back there or lead receiver. So I don't see the problem with that whatsoever.
And if you wanted to build on it, Pierce alternate yards is 19.5, and I think Campbell's right around there too. I like both those guys.
You know what's wild to me?
I play the same thing every week with the Colts. So.
Yeah, and I was looking at some long shot touchdowns. Pierce is plus 400 today. I was just like, oh my God, I need to take that so badly.
Yeah.
But I stayed away. But I was like, how is he plus 400?
We might see Ellinger run the ball a little bit more today too. His alternate line was 24.5 for rushing. So I kind of like that.
Yeah. All right, let's get to my last play. And if you guys have any questions over player props you guys are looking at, start, sit, and fantasy, I got a question for you, Side, at the end of the show, who I need to start in my PPR league. And then we're going to give out our favorite anytime touchdown scores today at the end as well. All right, and this is me picking on the Lions defense, Romeo Dubs. If you had a snapshot of my player exposure, you have Romeo Dubs, top 5 in there. He's currently coming in at, I think, 5% ownership or less. And I went overweight with him. I have about 35% of him in my lineups. Absolutely love him today. Even though Lazard is there, I'm okay with going Romeo Dubs. And this over 19.5 longest reception at minus 120. All it takes is one throw. And I'm going to cut back to props.cash real quick. Let's pull up Romeo for his longest receiving yards. And I scrolled over here. So Detroit's longest receptions on the defensive side, it's week after week, they've given up multiple deep balls to a plethora of receivers. So if I'm going back all the way to week 1, you got a 22-yarder to Dallas Goedert, 54-yarder to A.J. Brown, and another one to Goddard of 27. Week 2, 20, 27, 35, 40. You go week after week, it's 20 plus to multiple different receivers. So Dubs is Aaron Rodgers' favorite deep ball threat. This makes too much sense to me right here. So I've said, giving up 20 plus receiving or longest receptions to at least 2 different tight ends in every single week this season. If you want to pair it with Lazard, if you want to pair it with maybe a Aaron Jones taking a screen pass all the way, go right ahead. This is one of my favorite plays of the week here with Romeo Dubs, and I'm going to have a lot of exposure to him in DFS. So I'm ride or die with Romeo this week.
Yeah, I like that you showed that because longest reception is a prop that I never take.
Me either. I mean, it just popped up, and I was like, man, I really, really like this.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like that Chubb play we had in week 2 or 3, where I don't usually take these props, but if it's screaming at me, I'm gonna go ahead and put it out, and hopefully everybody can cash with us here. All right. So got a quick question for you for my fantasy team. Full point PPR.
Okay.
Swift or Cordell Patterson? I know I can't believe this is even a question, but I have to play one of them, and I'm going to play Gibson for sure, but I just
Gibson's
don't trust.
Your choice out of those 3?
Gibson's a lock in the lineup for sure. I just need to figure out, because Swift is limited. That's my only concern. Obviously, it wouldn't be a question.
So I'm playing Patterson in my lineups this week. I don't have Swift, but the Falcons want to run the ball, and every time Patterson's in the lineup, I mean, the dude's crushing it. So I don't know, but he's also coming off the injury too. So we don't know how much we're going to see him or Swift. It's kind of a toss-up, but I know that the Chargers defense isn't very good at stopping the run. So Patterson could potentially go off. So I'm kind of leaning him until we see a little bit more Swift.
And I'm just throwing up Swift's props one right here, and he caught 5 passes last week, and I know he's not 100%. He says it, and Williams scored a couple touchdowns.
He said he won't be 100% at all this year.
So, but I feel like he's that dynamic where he can still get points for me.
And what's hurting too is Williams is cutting into touchdowns.
Yeah. I think the safest route probably Patterson. I think the most upside if he ends up getting at least 5 passes or 3 passes or 4 passes, but so could Patterson.
Patterson could too.
They're both coming off injuries. It's tough.
Yeah.
So I'm still torn. I think I'm leaning Patterson, but I really want to stick with Swift. He's projected a little bit more, but I usually take those projections with a grain of salt.
And before Patterson went down, he was like a top.
He was
like a top 3 back.
Yeah, he was one of those guys where you don't want to draft, and you ended up drafting him. You're just like, oh shit, this paid off for me. All right, so let's quickly recap what we got. We got the same game parlay with Waddle and Hill.
I also
Receiving
like
yards.
that stack for DFS.
Yes, yep. I ended up stacking the Miami side of this game as well. If I'm playing low risk contest, I have a little bit more Fields in my lineup than like a naked Fields lineup.
I like Gesicki too. He's creeping up into getting a little bit more volume in this offense. So
then we got Godwin over 6.5 receptions. Walker Hopkins same game parlay. Antonio Gibson's over receiving yards. And the Pittman Myers same game parlay.
You went and used a Jacoby Myers pick.
Yeah, I gotta stop featuring all these Colts players on this damn show. I gotta get away from it.
That's the ugliest picture I've ever seen in my life.
He's diving for that 45th receiving yard right there. Then we got Romeo Dubs over 19.5 longest reception. All right, let's dive in. We're gonna be here for probably about 2 or 3 more minutes. If you guys have any last second questions, throw them in the chat on YouTube. And if you have not already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You get notifications as soon as we go live every single Sunday. And then if you are on Twitter, hit that retweet button. Would help us out tremendously. And as always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Who is your favorite player to score an anytime touchdown today?
Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs. Let's go. Let's see. Where are we at here?
Minus 110. I think he's got 7 on the year.
Oh, yeah. The 3 times in week 2.
Now he's got a tough matchup today with the sauce, but it's Stephon Diggs. I'll take him any day of the week.
Oh, yeah. I'm okay with that. I'm definitely okay with it. I'm going to go a little bit more heavy odds. We're going to go back to that Green Bay Detroit game, and I like Romeo. If you want to take Romeo, go right ahead. He's at plus 240. He scored last week against Buffalo. I think he's ascending. I think he's going to be the guy there eventually. But I'm going to go with Robert Tonyan. He scored the last 3 times that they've played against Detroit. Just Detroit alone gives up a buttload of touchdowns to the tight end position. And he had a touchdown called back last week on a penalty. So they are going to target him in the red zone. I'm all about Robert Tonyan today. If you want to play him in DFS, I want to see his ownership real quick because I have a little bit of exposure to him.
Think Hawkinson does anything today?
No, I don't.
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't at all. I just think it's too new. It's too early. I think down the stretch for sure. What's Tonyan? Tanyan's coming in. Shit, he's at 15%. So the whole world is on Tonyan with me, I guess.
if you're looking for another guy, this is a guy I think goes off today. I'm actually playing his alternate receiving lines, and I think he scores. Evan Ingram.
Ooh, there you go.
I don't know why, but he's just screaming out. He's getting one today. And I think Hines. I think Hines gets in today too.
You like Hines?
I do, but I don't like his value. It's like plus 290 on FanDuel, plus 2 something. So I mean, I'm not taking it because of the odds on it, but I can definitely see them using their new weapon.
I definitely, yeah. And Justin says Vikings head coach said Hawkinson will be used heavily. We'll see. That's a lot of coach talk. We always see the coaches say that they want to use their guys, and sometimes they just do not. But I guess he's more a question mark than anything. He's coming in on the DFS side. He's under 3% owned. So
really?
If you want to take a shot, you can definitely have him as a sneaky high risk play. My favorite overall play for the tight end position, I think he's in a smash spot. I commented on another Capper's tweet about it. Gerald Everett for the Chargers. So I was talking about earlier in the show, this Chargers team with no Allen, with no Williams, it's going to be everyone's going to gravitate towards Austin Eckler, which his ownership has reflected that. He's the highest running back on the slate. But you have a lot of value with Josh Palmer, DeAndre Carter, Michael Bandy, and then obviously here with Gerald Everett. The Falcons have given up 69 receiving yards or averaged 69 receiving yards by the tight end position all year long. It's been a spot we've taken advantage of multiple times this season. So throw Everett in your DFS lineups. Go ahead. You can maybe do his anytime touchdowns as well. I think he's in a smash spot.
I like that. He's kind of slept on quite a bit.
Yeah, I think he should be featured a little bit more. Yeah. Obviously, they're going to throw the football. That's what they want to do all the time. I'm all for it. Any final thoughts on the slate as we wrap up the show? I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to get out for any DFS or touchdown parlays or whatnot. What do you got?
I played Etienne quite a bit. I think he's in all my lineups. I think he has a pretty nice day today. The Raiders got slashed last week by Kamara.
Mhm.
I can see him kind of going off again today. So I like Etienne, alternate rushing yards. I like Ingram, alternate receiving yards. I think I actually played that one. So
Perfect. All right. Well, we will get up and out of here. It is 11 a.m. Central Time. If you guys have any additional questions up until lock, make sure you guys join the free Discord in the description below on YouTube. If you're on Twitter, make sure you hit my link tree and go ahead and join the free Discord. Ask any questions you guys have. I've thrown a couple anytime touchdown parlays in there as well.
you had a big one last week.
Oh, yeah. Turned $30 into like 1,600. It was nice. I liked it. So let's hopefully we get one of those this weekend as well. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and we are going to get up on out of here. As always, if you have additional questions, see us in the Discord. See you guys.
Have a good one.